Long ago, when empires were young, and the world was still learning the language of kingship, there were four men whose power stretched so wide. Their names echoed from the deserts to the mountains, across rivers and oceans. These were not just kings, they were sovereigns who, in their time, ruled all known civilization. Historians call them the four kings who ruled the earth. The first was Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. He lived not long after the great flood in the land of Shinar, modern-day Iraq. Nimrod is often credited as the founder of the first true kingdom in history, Babylon. But his domain didn't stop there. He built Erech, Akkad, and Calneh, forming the earliest empire recorded in the Bible and Sumerian tablets. Nimrod was more than just a ruler. He was a symbol of rebellion and ambition. Under his command, the infamous Tower of Babel was said to have risen toward the heavens. Though his empire was mighty, it was also a warning, a testament to human pride and divine limits. Centuries later came a man whose legacy would reshape law and kingship, Nebuchadnezzar II, king of Babylon in the 6th century BC. Though not usually listed among the traditional four, many scholars believe his reign marked a moment when the known world once again bowed to a single crown. He ruled during Babylon's golden age, his empire stretching across Mesopotamia, conquering Judah and exiling the Jewish people. Nebuchadnezzar is remembered not only for his military prowess, but for his monumental achievements, most notably the Hanging Gardens, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. But power comes at a cost. The Bible tells of his madness, when pride turned his mind and he wandered like an animal until he acknowledged a power greater than himself. Then came Alexander the Great, the king of Macedon, born in 356 BCE. A young man tutored by Aristotle, Alexander inherited his father's army at just 20, and within a decade had conquered more of the known world than anyone before him. From Greece to Egypt, from Persia to India, his empire stretched farther than the eye could imagine. No sea, no mountain stopped him. Cities bore his name, Alexandria, from the Nile to the Indus. Yet Alexander's greatness was not in conquest alone, but in fusion. He spread Greek culture, married foreign princesses, and envisioned a world united under one crown. But in 323 BCE, at the age of just 32, he died mysteriously in Babylon, leaving behind a shattered empire and a legacy eternal. And finally, there was Cyrus the Great, founder of the Persian Empire in the 6th century BC, long before Alexander's rise. Cyrus was a king unlike any other. He conquered Babylon, Media, Lydia, and parts of Central Asia, forging the largest empire the world had ever seen up to that point. But what made Cyrus truly great was his approach to rule. He respected the religions and customs of the people he conquered. When he took Babylon, he freed the Jews from exile and allowed them to return to Jerusalem. The Cyrus Cylinder, often considered the first declaration of human rights, tells of his wisdom and justice. Even the Greeks, his future enemies, respected him. Cyrus ruled not through fear, but through respect and through vision. 4 men, 4 empires, 4 stories that shaped the world. Nimrod, the first mighty king. Cyrus, the noble liberator. Nebuchadnezzar, the ambitious builder. Alexander, the brilliant conqueror. Their ages have passed, their empires long fallen. Yet their stories endure engraved in stone, whispered in scriptures, and remembered in every corner of the earth they once ruled. Now let us turn back the pages of time and meet these monarchs. Nimrod, the mighty hunter. Picture a world just emerged from a great flood, where the sun-baked plains of Shinar shimmered with new life. This was the cradle of civilization, the birthplace of empires. It was here that Nimrod rose to power, a descendant of Shem, son of Noah. His story, a blend of history and legend, is etched in ancient texts like the Bible and the Epic of Gilgamesh. Unlike many rulers of his time, Nimrod was not content with a small kingdom. He was ambitious, driven by a desire to build and conquer. His ambition was focused around the twin cities of Babylon and Erech. Under his banner, the city walls of Babylon grew taller, its hanging gardens greener, and its temple to the moon, god Sin, grander. In the sands of Erech, he established trade routes that hummed with the exchange of ideas and goods. Yet Nimrod's gaze was fixed on the horizon, on expanding his dominion beyond the Euphrates. He wasn't called the mighty hunter for nothing. His expeditions took him far and wide, hunting wild beasts and taming distant lands. As he journeyed, his legend grew, becoming larger than life. Some say he tamed the waters of the Persian Gulf, others that he hunted the great beast Tambaba in the cedar forest. These tales, though fantastical, reveal much about the empire he forged. They tell of courage, strength, and a will that knew no bounds. Nimrod's empire was vast, encompassing parts of modern-day Iraq, Kuwait, and Turkey. At its peak, it was a tapestry of cultures, a blend of Mesopotamian, Turkish, and Caucasian influences. But Nimrod's greatest claim to fame, or perhaps infamy, lies in his audacity. He dared to challenge the heavens with the Tower of Babel. This audacious project, meant to reach the gods, became a symbol of human pride and the limits of mortal ambition. Nimrod's story serves as a reminder that even the mightiest empires are built on shifting sands. His legacy, a blend of fact and myth, continues to fascinate us, inviting us to explore the dawn of human ambition and the birth of the first kingdoms. Nebuchadnezzar II, the proud builder. Imagine yourself in ancient Babylon, where the sun sets over the Euphrates and paints the sky with hues of orange and purple. In the heart of this bustling city, in the 6th century BC, sits a man of iron will and towering ambition, Nebuchadnezzar II. Born into a dynasty that had tasted both the heights of power and the depths of despair, Nebuchadnezzar inherited a kingdom poised on the edge of greatness. His predecessors had laid the foundation, but it was he who would turn Babylon into the jewel of the ancient world. Under his reign, Babylon flourished. Trade routes hummed with activity. Merchants from across the known world brought their wares to the city's doorstep. The wealth poured in, and with it came the resources to fulfill Nebuchadnezzar's grand ambitions. First, he turned his attention to the city's defenses. The mighty Ishtar Gate, a masterpiece of glazed bricks adorned with lions and dragons, marked the entrance to the city's grandeur. Within its protective embrace, Nebuchadnezzar embarked on a building spree. The Hanging Gardens, one of the ancient world's 7 wonders, were raised as a gift to his beloved wife. Their tiered levels, lush with exotic plants and watered by ingenious irrigation, became a testament to Babylonian engineering. The vast palace complex, with its throne room fit for a god, symbolized his absolute power. Yet Nebuchadnezzar's ambitions didn't end at the city's walls. He led his armies to conquer distant lands, subjugating Judah and carrying the Jewish people away from their homeland. His rule over the Jews was harsh, but he was not without magnanimity. In the annals of history, there's a jarring contrast. The Bible tells of a man consumed by pride, driven to madness, and wandering the earth like a wild animal until he recognized a power greater than his own. Nebuchadnezzar's story is a reminder that even the greatest of rulers are not immune to the whims of fate and the importance of humility in the face of the divine. Alexander III, the visionary conqueror. Now transport yourself back to the year 356 BCE. The bustling Macedonian city of Pella is preparing for a royal wedding. The groom, a young man named Alexander, is destined to be king. His journey begins with a childhood marked by education. Tutored by the philosopher Aristotle, Alexander's mind was honed to strategize, to debate, and to dream big. But his lessons went beyond the confines of Pella. Alexander explored the vast Macedonian kingdom, observing its people, understanding their needs, and nurturing their loyalty. At the tender age of 20, he inherited the throne, his father Philip's untimely demise thrusting him into the spotlight of power. With the backing of his mother, Olympias, and a coterie of loyal advisors, Alexander began to weave his vision for an interconnected world. He reorganized the army, reformed the government, and reached out to forge alliances beyond Macedonia's borders. Soon, his ambitions overflowed the borders of his homeland. With a formidable army at his command, Alexander set out to conquer the Persian Empire. What followed was a decade of unparalleled military brilliance. He defeated the Persians at the Granicus River, seized the vital city of Tyre, and overwhelmed the mighty pharaohs of Egypt. Along his path, he spread Greek culture like wildfire. Cities sprang up bearing his name, from Alexandria on the Egyptian coast to the banks of the Indus in India. He even ventured into the heart of the unknown, marching until his soldiers refused to go further. Everywhere he went, he left an indelible mark, shaping cultures, spreading knowledge, and challenging boundaries. As he journeyed, his legend grew, becoming a symbol of youthful brilliance and unstoppable ambition. But in 323 BCE, at the age of just 32, his journey ended abruptly in Babylon. The exact cause of his death remains a mystery, adding another layer of intrigue to his already legendary tale. Alexander's story is a beacon for those who dare to dream big, reminding us that with great ambition comes great responsibility, and that the echoes of our actions can resonate through history. Cyrus the Great, the enlightened liberator. Let us now travel back to the 6th century BC to meet a man who defied the odds and carved his name in gold. Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, was a king like no other. His empire, spanning from the Mediterranean to the Indus, was the largest the world had ever seen up to that point. But what truly set Cyrus apart was his approach to ruling. Born into a small Persian tribe, Cyrus's rise to power was anything but ordinary. He united the Medes and Persians, leading them to victory against the mighty Assyrians and conquering Lydia and Babylon. He was a brilliant military strategist, but his true genius lay in how he treated the people he ruled over. Cyrus understood the value of diversity and respected the beliefs and customs of those he conquered. His empire was a melting pot of cultures, a testament to his belief in the unity of all people. In Babylon, Cyrus freed the Jewish people from exile, allowing them to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. This act of magnanimity earned him a place of honor in the Jewish scriptures as the Messiah of the Lord. The Cyrus Cylinder, often hailed as the first declaration of human rights, proclaimed the freedom of the Jews and became a model for just leadership throughout history. Cyrus' future son-in-law, the Greek historian Herodotus, immortalized him as a wise and compassionate ruler, someone who valued justice and understood the importance of cultural exchange. Even the Greeks, his future adversaries, admired his strength and spirit. Cyrus's empire thrived due to his focus on trade and diplomacy rather than brute force. His empire was a web of connected regions, each contributing to the prosperity of the whole. He introduced a standardized system of weights and measures, promoted the use of a common currency, and established relay systems to ensure swift communication across his vast realm. Cyrus's story is a testament to the power of empathy and understanding. He showed the world that a leader's true strength lies not just in military might, but in the ability to unite people from different backgrounds under a shared banner of respect and equality. So ends the saga of the 4 kings who ruled the earth. Men whose ambitions knew no bounds, whose legacies echoed through time. Nimrod, the mighty hunter who dared to reach the heavens. Nebuchadnezzar, the proud builder who crafted wonders. Alexander, the visionary conqueror who dreamed of a united world. And Cyrus, the enlightened liberator who championed justice and cultural harmony. Their stories serve as a reminder that the course of history is shaped not just by conquest, but by the choices we make along the way.